Hi, everybody, you're in the right place.
Just check and see if there's more for you yet.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me? Arlene, Eric, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you so much, Nick.
I'll stick around for a couple of minutes if all goes well.
Perfect, thanks so much, Bill. Guys, we're getting all used to this newfangled hybrid stuff.
All right, okay, everybody, it is 6 o'clock. And we do have a quorum, so I'd like to call to order the regular hybrid meeting of the Woodstock Planning Board for November 17th, 2022. Are there any updates to the agenda, Melissa?
There are not.
Okay, so we have the minutes from October 20th and November 3rd. If everybody is okay with them, I'd like to accept them as is.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, under communications and announcements, under new business, we have 4 sketch plan reviews. And the first one is Christine A. Lipson and Ray, and Florence Benico, which is the planning board case 22-1235. And this is a sketch plan review of a subdivision application for a lot line revision to revise lot lines of 3 parcels to create 2 new lots totaling 14.9 and 18.5 acres located in the R3 zoning district at Music Hill Road and 11 Timber Notch Trail in Woodstock. And the rep is Don Brewer. So Don, if you want to come up and tell us what you got in mind.
Give me a second to get online, Peter.
Are we combining lots?
Yeah. I've got all this ready to look at, I just need to get on. It's a damn number.
Newfangled.
Does anybody want to look at
Yeah,
the hard copy here?
I like paper.
Yes, but.
I like it pretty
Cannot
color
see the
paper,
paper.
Recording in progress. Mute yourself. So is there always 2? Do you see we have 2?
Okay, who is this?
Does that matter? Just push this down?
Lipson?
Minimize that one.
Oh, no. Back, no.
No, maximize again.
Bill, are you the new tech support for the town?
He
of
is.
Woodstock?
God help me, yes.
Where'd you put your button?
Close that one.
I just.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we open up the split cam,
Damn, I'm not trying to get on here.
yeah, so before you open the meeting, we should have closed that.
Got it. Okay.
All right, Don.
I'm actually becoming quite tech savvy, much to my surprise.
Practice makes
Okay,
perfect.
I got it now.
Still need a lot of practice.
Okay. The Lipsons and the neighbors, Ray, they want to take the middle lot between their 2 properties and divide it along a natural ridge there. It's just to protect themselves from anybody building.
So these lines up here are the old property lines, and this red one is the new one?
The dashed lines are the old ones to be removed. And the new one is right in the middle along that
Okay.
ridge.
And the public can see it online.
Thanks, Julie.
Proposing to some development or just?
No.
Just making the lots bigger?
Right.
If I remember right, they were undersized, right, for the zone?
No.
No?
Mhm.
Okay. then I don't remember right.
On this one, there are a lot, the two lots are actually almost 15 acres and almost 19.
Okay, so
These are larger lots.
For Don, from the board members,
No, no,
looks pretty straightforward.
sure does.
is it in the overlay, just out of curiosity? No, it's not. Because my layer is turned on, so.
If you want to add, Don, otherwise we'll set you up for a public hearing.
No, it's pretty cut and dry.
I'll email you and we'll set you up for a public hearing.
Okay.
We have to.
It's basically a subdivision. I mean, lot line
It's derived.
revisions are subdivisions.
I know they are, but combining, making two large lots.
Yeah, it's. well, it's not
Your
making
call.
it
They
less.
both have septic and they both have right
They're
access,
established.
so it's like,
Why are we putting them separate?
like, do we even have to have a
You
public
want to make a
hearing for
motion
something
to
like this?
Wave,
I do.
yeah,
Second,
I made a motion to
wave.
Wait for the review.
waive and further
Yeah.
review.
second.
Okay.
Everybody good?
Yeah. Who else do we have online?
We won't
who
see
is
you here again until you have
member
another
of our-
case.
Aye.
Don, I'll be in touch. I'll prepare a resolution for the next meeting.
Just so you know, Connor is on, so
Oh,
he
thanks.
may
Judy.
have a right for a vote here. I'm sure that.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Awesome.
You want to be included in this vote? Just say aye.
He did, he did.
I did. Can you hear me? Aye.
That's
Thanks.
terrible audio.
yep.
It might need to be,
It's him,
Yeah.
it's not us.
Can you lower the volume a little bit?
That's how much he talks.
So I need to bring a Mylar.
I'll have it all written out for you in the resolution, though.
to-
Yeah, but there will be Mylar and 6 copies, but it'll all be laid out and, you like your color maps, thank you.
Anybody want any of these?
And, next time somebody says the planning board is on all kinds of
It
trees.
is the holiday season, but no, you could
Yeah.
If you affordable
use
better.
them for wrapping paper.
Hunter, say something.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Don.
Take care.
Okay, for your kids and members of the planning board.
I was,
But the next time somebody complains about how it takes 7 years in the planning board, you tell them that was not your experience.
I was the chairman of the Shandaken planning board for 6 years. Now they don't-
You know all about it.
What are you doing now? You selling planning boards?
No, now I live in Roxbury. Oh, different county.
Different county.
That's right.
Do you know Rita Leawood?
Yeah.
Somebody else says.
She's my cousin.
Okay. All right.
Okay, moving on to our second sketch plan review. And this next one is WKS ELLC. And planning board case is 22-0594. This is a sketch plan review of a special use permit application for modification to a short-term rental of a 3-bedroom dwelling, 5-bedroom dwelling in the R5 zoning district located at 118 Beaver Kill Road in Mount Tremper. And the rep is Phil. Patry, is he with us?
He is here. Hi, Phil. You can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, why don't you tell the board what it is you're planning to do?
Yep, it's pretty simple. It's a very large house that we've been operating as, a short-term rental, as well as the occasional sort of vacation home for myself. Right, basically it was always registered as a 3-bedroom house. And so that was our original STR permit that we received, and our planning board approval was for a 3-bedroom house. Recently, we received the approvals to upgrade the septic system, which was completed and signed off by everybody involved. And then the house was, increased to a 5-bedroom house without any physical changes to the house, basically just, turning 2 studies into bedrooms. So, now that that's done, we're looking to increase our short-term rental permit from 3 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms, since it's now a legal 5-bedroom house.
This is a first for us.
Okay.
This is basically, he has an SUP, he's legit, he was one of the ones that we had approved a while back, and it's just a modification to the special use permit. So we're on our special use permit where we have it all laid out, it's stated 3 bedrooms, and we just need to update it to 5 bedrooms if you guys are on, but this is basically how we're dealing with the modifications to the special use permit for short-term rentals.
All right, hey, Phil, let me ask you one question. Have you gone to the building department for an updated site plan?
We have received Woodstock approval. The septic work has all been completed, right? There was no change to the physical property or anything like that. It was purely septic work in order to go to a 5-bedroom. And that's all been completed and signed off by both the town of Woodstock as well as, I think DEP and Ulster and all the other parties. It's been fully signed off.
Okay, good. Any board members have questions for Philip?
Nope.
Philip, why 5 bedrooms on an SUP for a short-term rental? Planning
I
a very large family or very large number of guests?
Yes, right. It's the legal capacity of the house. So it's just purely to update it to the legal capacity of the house. It's a large home. So this will allow it to accommodate 10 guests with lots of space.
And I should note that it's way out on the edge of town, so it doesn't contribute to the congestion in the hamlet.
Yep.
Does it
Plenty of,
contribute to the congestion on Beaver Kill Road?
That it might.
I think, right, the usage of the usage of this house is far less than it would be if it was occupied by a family, right, occupying all 5 bedrooms in perpetuity. So, conceptually, yes, it's more, it's more usage on the road than if it were a 3-bedroom, but it's less usage than if it were occupied by a family of, 5 people, 5 cars, every day driving to school or to work. So.
Will this be rented as a per unit or as a per household?
Yeah, it is only one house. There are no units or accessory dwellings or anything like that. It's just purely one house.
So the rental that you're asking for is for large groups, basically those that can afford a 5-bedroom rental.
Yep, correct. Most of our groups are like, two families with kids, and then maybe and then the grandparents or something. Usually it's sort of like family groups.
Your family.
Okay, any other members of questions? Listen, as you said, this has already been through the works.
I feel like if
So-
you guys are okay with it, I can just adjust the issue.
Okay, so we okay to wait for the review on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're already doing business this way.
They
They
are,
were approved,
Well, they had 3.
They had
Now they're heading to.
I understand they have 3.
but not yet as 5. No, they were waiting for our approval. Phil, I'll be in touch next week. Thank you for meeting with the planning board. They have agreed to waive further review.
Great,
So
thank you.
paperwork, so the next meeting we'll take care of some paperwork and I will keep you posted.
Great, thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Okay, our next sketch plan review is Eric Rogoff, Wetlands and Watercourse Permit 22-048. And this is a sketch plan review of a wetlands and watercourse permit application for development within the wetlands and watercourse buffer area in the R5 zoning district located at 189 Hudson Hill Road in Shady. Karen Olson is the rep.
Good evening, everybody. You want me to just jump in and explain what we're doing?
I will have the, we'll have the plans. up in
Yep,
a
Judy's
second.
gonna show up the plans, but Darren, that's good. Thank you. Hi, Darren. It's Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey,
Eric
Eric.
is on as well.
Yeah, hi, everyone.
So Catterskill Associates represents Eric and Jennifer Rogoff. They have an existing house at 189 Hutchin Hill Road. They propose to build a pool house on an adjacent parcel that they own. We are in the preliminary stages of the planning of this. We recognize that the pool house is going to have a sleeping area and a kitchen. We recognize that we are going to have to go to Ulster County Department of Health for septic. We are expecting that we are going to pursue a lot line adjustment, so the structures are on the same lot. And we are in the scenic overlay, so we're expecting to go through that process with the planning board. But I wanted to get in front of the board early because the proposal is to build the pool house in proximity of an existing wetland. If you pull up sheet C101.
Just a moment. This one?
No, it's a site plan. It's called C101. In the bottom right-hand corner, it will say C101.
Are they all in the same document or am I looking for a
Yeah,
different document?
they're all in the same set.
Hold on one second, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. This is for a wetlands and watercourse permit. This
Yeah.
section. Okay, so what we really want to do is see where the wetlands and buffer is and where your intrusion into that is.
Yeah, that's on that C101 sheet.
I
I didn't see it in the application.
don't see it either.
It wasn't in the,
All I see is the building.
yeah, I saw the pond, but I didn't see any wetlands.
I believe it was all in the same set that we submitted.
Well, I'm looking through them. Here's the first page. There's the second page,
No,
there's the third page, fourth page, fifth page,
That sheet,
that sheet. All right.
that sheet right there.
Okay, so let me explain the procedure. What you have to do is delineate the wetlands. And they
The
are.
wetlands were delineated by Mike Nowicki.
Okay, so I need a map showing the wetland flags. I need to know where the wetlands are, so I know where the buffer is.
The wetlands are shown on this map they're on the left-hand side, just to the south of the pool house.
I'm trying to find it on my aerial photograph. Oh, that's not the house.
Yeah, we don't need more than what's on there.
I don't know where your house is, so I don't know where this pond that is showing on your drawing is.
What they're gonna need is the buffers included. So it's gonna need more detail than what you already have.
Yeah, we understand that we need a more detailed plan, but I wanted to, before we went through a lot more design work, I wanted to get some feedback from the board really on the two critical issues with the wetland. One is we have to demonstrate that we don't have a practical alternative that meets the goals of the project. And then the other is we have to provide mitigation. And I was hoping to get some feedback on those issues. And I was wondering if this board would entertain a site visit so we could show you what it looks like in the field.
Okay, well, first we need to see the buffer of the wetlands on the map, because we don't know how much area you're going into it.
Well, the drawing that I had up, we're actually not going into the wetland. We are going into the buffer. The drawing that we had up earlier showed the delineated wetland on it. It did not show the
Wait a
buffer.
minute.
Well, it's not very clear. I can see you say area of wetlands and you have a dotted line. The dotted line goes all around the pond, it goes. It's not clearly marked what's the wetlands and what's the buffer.
Well, we do not have the buffer shown on here. As soon as we got the wetland, I wanted to get in front of you.
That's what we're here to discuss is the intrusion in the buffer. This is a wetlands and watercourse application to intrude in the buffer, so we need to know where it is and how much intrusion and if it can be avoided.
This is the wetland that you're talking about?
No, that's a pond.
The wetland is to the left of that. The wetland is to the left of that. It's labeled, it's got that, it's got a label right inside it that says area of federal wetlands. It's right north, right above.
So Darren, I think,
All right, I see it.
I think this needs work. This needs to include buffers. This is the drawing the planning board wants to see right now. I know this was a whole project and you weren't sure how we were going into this. I know, Butch and I have talked about this with you. And we went back and forth, but we're starting with the wetlands and watercourse. So this application really does need to be just the wetlands and watercourse right now, as Chairman Cross was just saying. And we need a lot more details on this regarding the buffers and the wetlands, and it really to be scaled out. So when they go out on a site visit, they can see exactly what we're looking at.
Now, I want to ask a different question, if I might. When I look at the map, if this is the right property, I don't know where the house is. I don't know where this is going in this. Is that your property?
No, I don't believe that's the correct property.
All right.
Okay, but the procedure is you have to get a wetland delineator who flags the wetlands. The surveyor comes along who locates the flags and puts those flag markings on the map. And then they put the 100-foot buffer around that clearly, so we can see what's what.
Yeah, we've done all that, except we did not show the buffer. The map that was the
Map
wetland.
doesn't show the wetland flags.
Well,
So we need who delineated it and who surveyed it, so we know that it's a legal survey.
Applicant, if I may, why are you choosing to build in a problematic area or potentially problematic area?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
Darren, go ahead. Yeah, sorry, Darren, go ahead.
I was going to say, the remaining acreage that they have, so they have two parcels. One of them is 5 acres that has the existing residence, and one of them is 14. And much of the 14 has some substantially steep slopes. And it's one of the reasons I was hoping to schedule a site visit, so you could see this with your own eyes to understand. Because when I saw it with my own eyes, I understood why the location for the pool house is being selected. There's no other location that is in enough proximity to the house to be useful, that isn't knocking down a lot of trees on steep slopes or something like that. We're aware of the sensitivity of the wetlands. We hired Mike Nowicki, Eric and Jennifer hired Mike Nowicki to flag the wetlands. They are shown on the map. We do not show every single wetland flag, and we do not show the buffer because the site plan was prepared by the architect. As soon as we saw the site plan, I said, let's talk to Woodstock so we can get input at the beginning of our process, so we can understand it and it can inform our process as we design this, which was our goal tonight. We can certainly add the buffer on the drawings, within a day and get it submitted. I'm wondering if it would be possible if the board does a site visit like this, if it would be possible to talk about doing that with the condition that we get the wetlands and the buffer shown before we do that.
Okay, so let me be sure about this. You have to get a wetland delineator, a certified delineator, who delineates that wetland and flags it. And the flags are located by a surveyor and put on a map. We have to start there.
Okay, it was delineated by, his name's Michael Nowicki. The name of his company is something.
Well, it's got to be on the map. The delineator's name and date have to be on the map.
It has to be stamped by him. It has to be official.
I now have the right property. I don't know why when I right-clicked on it, it told me it was right, but when I did something else, it told me it was wrong. This is the right property, yes?
Yes, that's the right property.
And there is the big wetland buffer, and these are little stream buffers for intermittent streams.
Yeah.
Okay, I needed to know that I was in the right place and I wasn't.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to Melissa and Peter.
So
So
that's,
to get a wetlands and watercourse permit, you need them delineated by an actual wetlands delineator. So we need an actual survey signed off on. If you used Michael Nowicki, then go with Michael Nowicki.
okay.
And if the streams are close, you have to show the streams in their buffers.
Everything within the parcel.
Which means the whole parcel, which is why I was having trouble identifying
Absolutely.
where this was.
And once we see that, then we can decide whether it's an issue or not. It may be avoidable, it may, basically what happens is if you go into the buffer, we need to know the square footage, and that's why it has to be done by a surveyor. We need the square footage of the buffer that you're going into, so we can mitigate by adding that same square footage somewhere else, if that's what we end up with, but we don't know until we see it.
Okay, look, while I've got you, the issue of mitigation. So our proposal, we are in the buffer, we are not in the wetland. But we are in the buffer. We're going to be in the buffer.
But you're saying that we don't know that till we see it.
I understand that, but I just wanted to ask if your regulations refer to deed restriction as a possible mitigation. Is that something the board entertains? And my second question is, do we have to, you want us to delineate the entire 14 acres?
Just the area that you are going to be near, that's going to be affected.
Okay,
So if the streams are near, or wetlands are near, or the buffers are near, that's what we need to see on the map about where you're trying to improve.
okay.
Right? So it's just the area that you're looking to improve, that's what we need to see on the map.
I understand. I mean, my goal was, and I understand the process we have to go through. My goal was to hear what you had to say and hopefully to get you to take a look at the property so you could understand the arguments that we intend to make about how we don't have a practical alternative that accomplishes the goals of the project. Those are my goals tonight. I understand the process.
Site visit, we will make a site visit, but we first need to get, of course, the map first. And then we'll arrange a site visit. And, yeah.
Okay, do you guys, when you guys do a visit like that, do you do it as a group?
Look, site visits are protocol that we manage, and this is a volunteer group, so let us worry about how we get people from point A to point B, and just get us what you need, what we need, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Okay, we'll get that to you as fast as we can, and then hopefully we can move forward like that.
All right.
Yeah, this is just a preliminary site plan review, so, all right, well, the next one will go to the next step,
Okay,
all right?
Thank you, Darren and Eric.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all. Good night.
Okay. Rod next. Our next case is Andrew Carlos and his sketch plan review of a subdivision application. Oh, yeah, just don't. One lot, 101 acres, into 3 lots of 25 acres and 3 acres in the R3 zoning district located on John Joy Road. All right,
Everybody care to see this drawing?
oh yeah, we want to see the wetlands on.
You have it already.
Share screen in a minute.
Let me just,
Some like paper, some like.
You have one of these
paper.
too?
I do. But I
What did I say?
don't have you.
Okay. Okay, we are up. On the screen.
This is his house.
Right. Well, these are the two lots that we're proposing.
Yeah, these two lots.
Wetland here was where there were illegal, well, poles.
Oh, yeah.
The phone company put poles through our property before I bought it. And the days when they didn't bother to get permission. But since then, it took me 10 years to get them to remove them. But they have been removed, the poles. And the thing was that right on John Joy Road, they had the same poles there. But I don't know why they
Those are
chose,
cable, yeah, they're cable.
they chose just the telephone.
Old cable poles, yeah.
Anyway,
So your entrance route is gonna be way off of your driveway?
if push comes to shove, yes. No.
Because it's kind of a drop off from John Joy.
Yeah, but it's not that much of a drop. In fact, there was in some old maps, you can see that there was an entrance there off of John Joy, pretty much across. Somewhere along here.
Got it.
You
I
guys
got the
wanna-
map up there. I also have.
Brian, you wanna look at this or?
Well, I have one with you, John.
Thank you, Rob.
I can see just as well on my screen, and I can zoom in. It's those properties there, yeah?
All right, so questions for Rod on this application? You guys, I know it's a bit, I know the properties. I'll let you guys think about it.
My question remains the same as it was last time. Are you going to be building right by the road because the wetlands run parallel? to
No,
the
not
road
necessarily.
and-
There's plenty of room. And it's the further in you go,
But you have to,
the nicer it gets. Excuse me?
you have to cross the wetland to get to anything else. And that
I'm
is,
sorry, I'm having a little difficult, especially with the maps today.
you have to cross the wetland to get to anything else.
No, because there's an entrance here.
This way.
Big one. What about the two small ones?
Well, there's an entrance here that will service these two.
Oh, I see.
It's an
Okay,
existing,
that is
it's an
not-
existing lane.
That's hard to. see
So
on this map. Okay,
it would have to be minimally,
got it.
if need be,
Got
it would have to be minimally cleaned up.
It's dotted lines. It's very hard to see, but I now see what you're talking about.
Yes,
Good.
it's an existing lane.
I
Beautiful.
want to look at my map and,
Forgive me if, was this a project that went from 5 to 3? Or am I confused?
This one,
Not this one, no.
Okay.
Rod has been before us.
For this
with
lot up
project.
here.
Exactly.
That lot we did a couple of years ago. The biggest issue we have is to get site reps in the field. Look.
Thoughts on this?
So, I guess, unless anyone else wants to volunteer, I will go look. I've been down this road before. No pun intended.
I will volunteer.
You want to take a look, Bill?
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to see if that's an intermittent stream or something.
You know, we can drive right down that lane, so it won't be like in this weather.
Do you have proposed houses staked out at all? You have
Not
any-
yet, not yet. This is my preliminary visit, you know,
No
it's.
problem.
He wants your input.
It's preliminary.
You know me, I want to do
Rod, do
the
you
least
want
path of resistance.
to
All right.
read them so you can kind of, would you
No.
like to, that you're good?
Well, let me go down the list then, Rod. Board of Health approval, have you done perk testing?
Got two of them.
You got the Board of Health approval. A curb cut already exists because that's the driveway, right?
Yes.
Do we have to get highway to take a look about when we add more houses to a driveway? Because this is existing driveway.
Well,
for his
this
house.
is this driveway here, but it would have to, I would, not to encroach on this property, I would just cut
Cut over there.
right here.
Yeah, we
So we should get. the
Side
highway.
distance is plenty.
Same thing, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, just,
But then he'll leave, if he goes to build, he's gonna need a, yeah.
yeah, just for procedure, we're gonna get
Yes.
highway curb cut approval. All right, so you got Board of Health approval.
Rod, can I ask you a
Do you,
question?
so the next step would be to stake out the proposed house. And maybe these two corners, so that we know where the lots basically, and maybe stake that corner and that corner.
That's been done.
It is, okay,
It's already there.
just throw some ribbon on it or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, and the surveyor did it.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, so it's surveyed out, okay, I
Oh,
got it.
yeah, this is by him, not by me.
Mhm.
Ask a question?
Catskill, whatever his name is.
So Rob
Catskill
Allison.
survey, surveys or something.
Rob Allison, I think.
Peter, can I ask a question?
Sure.
On the map here, I want to know, is this the driveway you're talking about, Rob?
No, it's actually, whoa. It's actually right here.
Okay, so,
Well, actually, the driveway's here, and where Rod wants to put it is move it over tiny.
well.
Only when you
I'm just
move the
looking at-
cursor.
I'm just streaming
Not that way.
over right here. I know my property lines are not perfect, but it looks like this is actually the property ending where on the road would be. And this shows as a stream.
Yeah, it's not really a stream, but
No, there's no
It's an
stream there.
intermittent also, and this
It's
is
a-
not listed as an intermittent.
There's no stream.
it's a
there.
drainage area.
There's
It's a
a-
drainage.
Okay.
a seasonal swale, which is, I've never seen it wet.
Okay.
Then why is it there?
Excuse me,
Then why is it there?
okay, it overflows, but apparently what happens is there's a culvert that I put in and here. And it accumulates here and it just doesn't go here. When the site visit is done, it can plainly be seen.
It looks
What I'm
like it's
talking
an
about.
intermittent stream, which is probably okay anyway.
I mean, I'll make no bones about it. It's a very wet area, but it's buildable and you'll see it, well, I guess
But
Brian will see it.
You're not near it except right at the bottom. If you're going up the way that your drawing showed, so.
In fact, this area was before us about 4 years ago. We were looking at doing a multiple
Very well.
apartment building here. I don't know if you guys, Judy, you remember that?
Very well.
Yeah,
Different owners, was
yeah, right here, we were gonna do a big
We're looking
apartment.
to do senior housing on the advice of the town
Right.
and the powers that be at the time. And we went all the way to.
There were all these
Got the
rules
final
to-
approval from the planning board and everything else, and then we went to the public hearing. And the neighbors came out with pitchforks.
Yeah, this was
Running over
wrong.
anger from everybody,
The problem
and the
with-
hassle with everything. I said, I was getting old. You know, I said, I don't need this,
You're a spring chicken.
so. Here I am.
All right, Rod, well, I will go and Brian and we will go take a walk. And if you could just stake out about where the house wants to go
Sure.
and
So just give me a shout when it's staked out where the house is
Well, I mean, that
ideal.
can be done, you know, pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
And
then I'll let them know.
Intend to come visit.
well. Weekend this weekend and then Thanksgiving, I got a lot of days off, so I could do it anytime next week. I'm taking most of Thanksgiving off.
Yeah, we're gonna do it independently.
Well, you know what, right now, we're having some dry weather
Yeah.
for the next 5-6 days.
And cold
So
enough
let
to
us
surround
worry
it,
about
You
that.
know,
A
so
little bit harder.
So let us worry about that. And so we know what we need to do. So thank you.
Yeah, we'll get her. All
Yeah,
right, Rod.
So I'd like to keep one copy.
Oh, sure.
Do I have yours?
no, you can have this one.
Okay.
Give that to Brian.
Thank you.
Copy it?
I do.
Well, I saw your other house is finished that you did. That looks nice. further down the road there.
Yep, very nice.
I'll say you do good work.
Thank you very much. Am I finished with you guys?
You are
You
finished.
are.
I'll be in
Thank you
touch.
for your attention.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good
Rob.
night.
I'm glad we could hear you tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, so under unfinished business, we make a motion regarding the draft resolution for Erkman, which is special use permit 22-0581A.
That's the sport court.
Hmm?
That's the sport
The
court.
sport court, okay? Um,
Yes.
So gonna get a second on
Second.
approving the resolution?
Second.
Sure.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay, so we got a sport court. Now we have, this is an interesting one. We have to make a resolution,
A motion.
or we have to make a motion to approve a resolution to ratify all decisions made from September 12th to October 12th meetings and approved resolutions. So everything we did between those dates,
There are
technically-
4 of them. I have them.
Can we
listed.
make it all in one resolution, one fell swoop?
This is just legality with not being in person.
So moved.
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. I
Thanks,
didn't know it was
guys.
only four. I thought
Like
it
4.
was a-
Yeah, and you said, John Lyons has been wonderful and told me exactly what to do, and some of you, I'm sure, read the resolution. I whipped it up with a letter, and we're good now. All right, next, Brian, did you get a hold, oh, keep
Oh, no,
going.
what was your site visit update? That,
Yep, Brian, did
Oh.
you get a hold of Owen May and head over there to see
No.
that addition?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phone number?
Her address in front of me.
I will email you
Review.
tonight. I will email you tonight before I leave,
And just a clarification, why do I need to call? Why can't I just show up?
because he has a big dog and he requested that he be asked.
This is California Quarry.
No, this is on Connors Road, Leeds Mountain.
Okay, so California Quarry is pending.
We are, yeah, I'm gonna try to do that next week with you guys early. I sent an email before I came downstairs. Yeah, and then California Quarry, Judy, James and Butch and I had a field trip, and it was just fun and exciting, but we went to the wrong site. And that rep isn't very happy
you need
with
to get
me.
your hiking boots out to go up there, I'm telling you.
Wait, the electric car wouldn't make it. We had to come back and get the truck. It was very eventful.
He was the one who thought he knew where it was.
Yep.
We were 100 and.
We went all the way to the top.
Probably where we should have been.
And apparently they're down further.
That's pretty
2,100
funny.
feet.
Well,
It,
You-
I know, but I gotta tell you, I really pissed someone off.
I've been up there, I'm gonna go up there again.
Well, it was a beautiful
Nobody
drive.
should live there. You
Nobody
know
should
that.
have. That's a subdivision that never should have happened. And while we're discussing it, I'm gonna make a point that this project is in the scenic overlay. And it is on steep slopes, and it is in a prominent position. Their point is, oh, there's trees. Well, those trees could die, fall down, get cut. So I'm just giving you my heads up.
We're gonna take a ride again on California Quarry.
At least we don't see a slope that one could imagine building something on, because where we were, not so much.
I just can't imagine anybody.
Driveway was 140 feet above the
They were-
last point on the road.
Mhm.
Peter, do you see how the?
I can't imagine anybody building $1 million home and not have a view. But just on top of that mountain, you're not gonna have a view. That's what they're telling us. We have no view because there's trees in front of us. You're gonna put $1 million home there, but you got no view.
Full load.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
You have a view in the winter when the leaves fall off.
Well, then you got a view.
Peter, do you see
And
the?
and then when the leaves fall off, we can see all the windows from
Oh,
down here.
sure.
Yeah, well. All right, so now we have the
Ryan was
calendar.
trying to say
Yes,
something.
don't worry about it.
Trying to say something.
So we got the calendar. If everybody's okay with it, that we'll live through another year.
Yeah, if you're okay with it, you can make a motion to approve and I don't have to bug you again, but it's up to
The
you
only
guys.
issue I raised was the first night of Passover,
And we can just cancel that meeting.
or you can get a fourth some other way.
We can just
What
cancel it.
It's the first night of Passover.
That falls on a Thursday.
Oh, first night. falls
You
on-
can pass over it
It
if you
falls
want.
wherever it falls.
Best.
This year it's on a Thursday.
Motion to approve.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we taking off Passover?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Now we have an interesting topic. County Planning Board, Ulster County Planning Board has recommended to towns that they change their boards from 7 members to 5 members.
The county recommend?
County recommended that,
Require or recommend?
recommended. And because of the COVID and because of our hybrid situation and meeting quorums, it seems like a reasonable thing for us to do, to go back down, to go to 5-member board members. It can only be done. Well, Melissa contacted the county planning board, found out what you got.
An association of towns and a lawyer.
The main point is you can only do it when 2 seats are empty. Because you can't.
You can't
throw people
move
off
somebody
the
off,
crowd,
right?
because so you only can do it when there's 2 seats are empty. We happen to be in that kind of position. And it would be nice to get it done before the first of the year.
So we're set for 2023.
So who
So
other than
that-
Stewart is resigning?
James wants to go off and Stuart is
Oh,
resigning.
right, James.
No, I'm hoping James will stay.
Well, then there's not a problem. I
So-
know.
What, James said he's gonna stay or?
Not yet, but kind of.
But
If I can have flexibility and make sure we have 3 here, he'll Zoom from California.
Quorum is 3. If we
A
go to-
quorum is 3 if we go to 5.
These are 2 different issues. So either stay at 7 or go down to 5. And then if that is the case, then you have a quorum of 3. But if James James to stay, if he resigned.
I don't know if it was
No, his term
official.
is up this year.
No, it's not.
So
Not?
different
Mm-mm.
terminology, Stewart's.
Stewart's time is up and he's resigning this
Yes.
December.
Stewart's a definite.
Alas,
James to 27.
Yeah.
So that's not the issue that we're talking about.
My issue is reliability.
Well, but no, your issue is actually whether you go from 7 to 5. Reliability is a subset of that.
well, let me ask a question that might help a little bit. I know that our planner, Nan, has suggested that we ought to have alternates. So if we do that move, go to 5, we really ought to all put some alternates on.
But does this,
So the step is what we need to do, because the town board has to.
They have to make a local law.
Town board has to do this.
Well, they
So
have
we have
a
to-
local law and send it to the state
State.
for approval.
Mhm.
Unless the Secretary of State approves it, it's dead. But this looks like it's a fait accompli if the county is already saying this.
The next step would be to present it to the town board to see how they vote on it.
And we don't really want to waste time because I would like to have this in effect for January if at all possible.
no, it's a recommendation, it's not a mandate, it's not a requirement.
Since, to be honest about it, we've always had an issue with filling 7 slots. It's been an issue for a long time. So actually, I think going to 5 makes a lot of sense.
We could ask Connor to be the alternate.
So since the last question, not last question, but you could have alternates then, we could do whatever we want.
We can suggest that.
We can suggest it, having an appointed alternate, you know,
Or alternates.
which is a little dicey because it means if 6 o'clock comes and we're missing somebody, you got to call up that alternate and have them, hopefully they can run down.
But there's usually, there's usually dialogue.
Yeah, usually there should be some notice that
I think alternates and voting for alternates is a fuzzy area.
It is,
It is,
it is. That's why Bill kind of
yeah.
poo-pooed it when we asked about it.
Well, guess what? If Bill gives back, when we talk about Woodstock, or gives back the budget, then maybe they have more input. But right now, the tools that we have, that we want, tend to take it away. And this is a different issue, but we need to decide what the hell we want to do. We need Peter, we need to decide what's workable, and everybody else, you know. And we tell them what we want. Because this is a recommendation, it's not a requirement.
Correct.
Correct. It's just like the county also required that, or not required, suggested that towns switch from having villages and towns to just having towns.
Well, that could,
Yeah, like New Paltz has a village in New Paltz and a town in New Paltz, and Saugerties already did it, but
No, they didn't.
they didn't, they're still
No,
towns.
there's still a
Yeah.
village report.
It was Saugerties. they were
Only
referred.
one that did it was south of us. What was that? Mark Palin was the last mayor of the village of Rosendale.
Rosendale.
And they combined with the town.
High Falls,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's something.
But we're already. one.
Yeah, we're one. But it-
Hamlet is not a separate.
People
government.
refer to the village as never been a village of Woodstock. It's always been a town.
And a hamlet that is a zoning. area.
Hamlet is not
It's a zoning area.
a legally definable area.
So whatever, what you guys decide, whatever you want.
So why are they recommending this? Because it's easier to do it?
What was the county's reason for
Yeah.
downsizing it? They're talking county-wise, so I guess it has to do with, you know, all the towns.
Having trouble.
Yeah.
filling slots.
Okay.
Volunteers are a major issue,
Yeah,
major issue.
I guess.
I mean, the
Well,
fire
I guess I
department
want
and
to
the
ask
ambulance squad,
Melissa,
they fight.
what would the functional difference be? Site visit?
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's gonna make it so I know I'm gonna have a quorum every meeting and not find out yesterday that I had a valid meeting.
So it would be a positive from that point of view.
And site visits, it's tough. I'm doing site visits with you guys now. I never did that before. And I'm doing it to fill a body, like, and I don't expect anybody to do
How
more.
many people do you have to have on the site visit?
It all really depends on the case and what, sometimes it could be one, but Peter's doing everything.
And Brian has done.
And
one.
Brian's done a lot. James, I don't want to lose James because he's always happy to volunteer.
And I've done a
And
site
I
And
visit.
you've done, and exactly. So honestly, this is gonna make my life easier.
Yeah, I don't think so, if I may, because going from 7 to 5 is just gonna shrink your pool. And you don't have an issue. I mean, we've had 7-person quorums most of the time until recently, when they changed the rules. Really, the in-person requirement combined with Stuart and James leading them to issues. In my opinion, but guess what? I've not heard the caps yet.
That's my opinion. I really respect Peter and John, and I think what they feel we need to steer this ship into 2023 is what I support.
Yeah, finally.
And of course.
We can always change this. I
We
mean,
have
we're
another
not gonna
hurdle to
be,
get through. It's. the
I
fact-
can do this again. Like, we could do 2023 like this and then revisit this
Yeah.
and ask to go back up to 7 if it's really bad.
But the other thing, Brian, is that your opinion is also the town board might have issues. I mean,
Right.
the town board has to vote on it. There's 5 people there that we don't know what.
This
the-
is just what we're proposing.
No, I'll support whatever,
I'm all right with that.
you put, so. You guys are, I mean, I just show up. Touch ones.
I don't want to lose James because he is reliable. So I'm trying to work with him as much as possible via Zoom. Because he's willing to be sitting in a hotel and take time and and attend and come to site visits and show up here if they need something.
But I will try to get, or Melissa or myself, I will try to get from the county their exact reasoning for that, because I don't know exactly how they, it could be like John said, they're just having trouble.
I've
staffing.
really
I don't know.
spent, the past week on the phone with Association of Towns and lawyer, and this had come up, and the three of us have really spent a great deal of time on this, seeing pros and cons, and it was no surprise with Association of Towns. I feel like other places are doing this. And it makes sense.
You guys need to make a motion.
We do to send this to Bill,
Send it to the town board.
yeah,
Because it's their call.
right, they have to make a local law and support us.
I make a motion to send this to the town board.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Connor, you still awake?
Yes, sir. Aye.
All right, anybody else have any other issues for, before adjournment?
Here's the motion. to adjourn.
Not that kind of issues. Go
All right.
upstairs to my office.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, everybody.
Many of you, just as an aside,
Thanks, guys.
read all that